Joshua was going to connect with a bomb.
Yeah.
And breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Yeah. And
his jaw's wired shut now. He lost teeth.
He probably cooked. He should retire, man. That was a clear
retire?
Check. Hell yeah. That was a clear reality check, bro.
Yeah, but it's a reality check to stay in your own division or...
He was literally running. Look at some of those rounds. He was running. He was going north to south, not side to side. He was running.
Joe Rogan strongly tells Jake Paul to stop boxing after his brutal knockout loss to Anthony Joshua. He says continuing to fight is very dangerous. Rogan explains that injuries from fights don't end when the match is over and can last for life. These injuries can harm the brain, memory, emotions, and mental health. He warns that repeated damage can cause long-term depression and serious brain problems. No amount of money or fame is worth losing your health.
A severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. It leads so many people to impulsive behavior. So many people become gambling addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics after their fighting career.
Yeah.
It's you could only take so much. And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, ooh, you know, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punch that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 punches.
Yeah.
That was like,
yeah.
There was a lot of concussions in that one punch.
Sure.
That was real damage. Like if someone's breaking your jaw in 2 places, the inside of your fucking head there's a lot of damage going on in there too.
Psychologist Derek Van Schaik says Jake Paul was in serious danger during his fight with Anthony Joshua. Joshua landed many powerful, accurate punches, including a clean right hand that broke Jake's lower jaw in 2 places. In the final moments, Jake's body showed fear and deep exhaustion as he realized how bad things were. Trapped and helpless, his face showed shock at a level of power he had never faced before. Van Schaik explains that this kind of punishment doesn't just hurt the body but can also cause long-term mental and brain damage. The fight proved Jake was outmatched, and facing top boxers again could put his life at risk. Experts agree that after such trauma, retiring is the safest and smartest choice for his health.
To limit the number of punches he threw and also aim a little lower to land that clean right-hand punch on the side of Jake's face, which fractured his lower jaw, still hospitalizing Jake Paul, but not actually killing him.
If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Rolls-Royce, Fiat.
The variety of emotions we see in the final moments of the fight are fascinating. AJ finally corners Jake, hits him with a quick left-hand jab to the body, which lowers his guard, opening up a clean right-hand shot to the head. You can see AJ smile there when he sees Jake had fallen into his trap and knows that he's about to finish him off.
And then you just keep exploiting that. Some people give up, some people get knocked out.
Jake's body language and facial expressions when he knows it's all over for him is a little sad as he whimpers in the corner with that scared, nauseous look on his face, realizing this may be his final moment on earth.
If I get hit with that shot, I'm screwed. I don't believe he's gonna hit me with those shots.
You gonna hit him with that?
100%, and land that right hand that he says is my only weapon.
If you look at Jake's eyes and face, he's pleading for mercy to AJ as if he's a child. Please don't do this.
Some people get knocked out.
It's actually quite surreal that the moment many of us were concerned what happened to Jake actually happened in real life.
If Jake Paul is left, you know, up against the ropes with Anthony Joshua, unloading on him, could be the end for him, literally. It could be his last day on earth.
Jake Paul was helplessly exhausted, badly beaten, and cornered where AJ could have unloaded a flurry of clean punches on Jake. When he takes that clean right shot from AJ, breaking his jaw in 2 places, and then falls to the ground.
And his chin served on a platter, and look at Jake Paul's face. He knew it right away. He said, woo!
Some wondered why Jake had that emotion of excitement. Do you know why? When he was cornered by AJ, Jake's amygdala detected extreme threat.
The boxing world reacts strongly, saying Jake Paul has been fully exposed and should retire right away. His fight against Anthony Joshua was a hard wake-up call that showed he cannot compete with top-level fighters. Experts and fans say the knockout and repeated hits he took prove how dangerous it is for his body and mind to keep going. Many believe stopping now is the smartest choice to protect his health and his future.
He's probably cooked. He should retire, man. That was a clear reality check.
Retire?
Like, hell yeah, that was a clear reality check, bro.
Yeah, but it's
He
a
gotta
reality
retire.
check to stay in your own division or, don't jump in class so far up. Not retirement. He ain't get slept. Like, you don't give him no respect for that?
Hell no. Gang.
What?
I'm saying, look at his list. It's all high-level boxer. And you seen what just happened when he stepped up to a legit boxer? He got cooked. He got to retire, man. He either got to retire or start fucking with these misfits boxer dudes. He ain't gonna make it with that kind of skill level, man.
Netflix ain't gonna take a misfits type of fighter, bro. He's on a different level.
Facing a bigger and taller opponent, Jake Paul kept dropping to one knee, putting himself at serious risk of injury. Each fall could have caused ligament damage, similar to what happened to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in his fight against Sergio Martinez, which hurt his career forever. Along with a broken jaw, Jake's repeated collapses under Joshua's 260-pound body drained his energy as he struggled to stand up again and again. Analysts say he hit the canvas many times, showing bad strategy and weak technique. His bold talk about knocking out Joshua only made the difference between hype and reality clearer. Fans and experts agree that, despite all the promotion, Jake looked outmatched, exhausted, and physically exposed, proving that continuing at this level is reckless and dangerous.
You're in there with a bigger, taller person, so keep taking the knee. First of all, your knee, you can get ligament damage. Remember when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was losing every round to Sergio Martinez, and then Martinez fell to the ground kind of weird? He messed up his knee. He was never the same fighter. So you got a broken jaw, but you could have tore ligaments in your knee by having a 260-pound man, fall on top of you because you keep making it sloppy and falling around and spilling about. And even if you don't like rupture something or tear a ligament or whatever, it's not really much better than someone leaning on you. Do you know how much energy you exert by having to be 220 pounds or whatever, 216, and keep picking yourself back up? Like, I seen a thing, I didn't count myself, but it said there were 12 or 13, maybe 14 times that Jake Paul was on the canvas. Horrible strategy. And Netflix, I don't even see how they would like that. And for me, this generation they're chopped, bro. Jake Paul did all this, and y'all want me to give a bunch of credit. Jake Paul did all this talking about Joshua getting knocked out. You did whatever to sell the fight, but you didn't make good. That doesn't make you look good when you talk crazy and talk spicy, and then you have no intentions of fulfilling that. And then you got the Jake Paul fans and the Andrew Tate fans, because they lost kind of back-to-back, where they're trying their hardest to turn this into some inspirational story. Like, oh, as long as you try, it doesn't matter. No. Andrew Tate said, what do you call someone who loses? A loser.
Joe Rogan points out that Jake Paul had never faced a fighter like Anthony Joshua or felt this level of power before. After fighting Joshua, Jake's body took a force it had never experienced. The brutal punch that broke his jaw in 2 places may have also caused serious damage inside his head, possibly affecting his brain. Rogan stresses that this is more than just a physical injury and serves as a clear warning about the danger of fighting elite boxers. He warns that this kind of trauma can cause long-lasting damage that is not always seen right away.
Yeah. I'm sure he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like, his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big, dude.
He's so big.
I give Jake so much credit for stepping into that ring.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb, a right-hand bomb.
When he got hit with that too, I don't know if enough has been made of the fact that, I mean, it was absolutely devastating. But the fact that he had awareness immediately to go like he looked at the crowd like, oh shit, like wow.
He goes,
it wasn't like
cracked. I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen, and ultimately, the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it, and that he could do well for a little bit.
Yeah.
Analysts say Jake Paul barely made it through his fight with Anthony Joshua, dropping to his knees and falling to the mat many times during the match. Even so, Jake later claimed he beat Joshua, a statement many experts call unrealistic given what happened in the ring. Observers point out that Jake's main goal was making money, not proving skill, so praising this performance too much is not deserved. Unlike casual fighters or YouTubers who box only for attention, Jake had already fought 12 professional matches and suffered 2 real losses. These losses were not against weak or retired fighters, but against strong and competitive opponents, showing his record has faced serious tests. Analysts explain that surviving against a world-class heavyweight like Joshua is very different from winning or dominating a fight. They warn that overhyping Jake's performance twists the truth of what really happened. Experts stress that the full context of his wins and losses matters, especially when judging his claims about his ability. The focus, they say, should be on the real dangers fighters face, not on money-driven or social media hype stories.
Professional boxer who had a 12-1 record, well, he's 12-2 now, lost against the 2 boxers that was young and healthy and who trained boxing and not from a different sport or over the hill or retired, okay? You treat him like a boxer. Stop calling him a YouTuber. Stop calling him, because this is what they're doing now. We saw all the predictions. Y'all didn't see the predictions where everybody was shitting on Anthony Joshua and not putting respect on his name, acting like he's going to get knocked out? Tyson Fury said it. Oscar De La Hoya said it. Drake put $200,000 on Jake Paul. Nate Diaz said Anthony Joshua was going to get knocked out. David Hay picked Jake Paul. Let's not forget, right at the press conference, they went on the whole panel and asked who would win, Anthony Joshua or Jake Paul. And everybody was saying Jake Paul. Ridiculous. We're going to get into the disrespect of Anthony Joshua. So let's treat him like a real fucking boxer. Because he is. When I said once, this is what I told everybody. Once he actually fought Tommy Fury, who was the first boxer he fought. Once he fought a boxer, win or lose, I said, now I count him as a professional boxer. I'm not counting you as a professional boxer when you're fighting NBA players, other YouTubers, MMA fighters who are even just fucking wrestlers and BJJ practitioners like Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. I'm not counting that.
Brendan Shaw says the idea that Jake Paul could beat Anthony Joshua is completely unrealistic. He points out that Paul never really had a chance to win no matter what fans think. Many fans say everyone has a puncher's chance, but Shaw calls that wrong. In a pro fight, especially against a top fighter like Joshua, there is no real puncher's chance. The difference in size, strength, and skill is huge. Even if Jake hits hard for a 200-pound man, he's still far below the best heavyweights in the world. Shaw explains that if the fight had been promoted realistically, it should have been about whether Jake could just survive the rounds without being knocked out, not about winning. Running and avoiding damage would have been the only real plan. Any story saying Paul could dominate or land big punches was misleading. The hype about a puncher's chance gave viewers the wrong idea about elite boxing.
The way this should be marketed is not, can Jake Paul beat Anthony Joshua? That's insane. That's not real. That's not real in any facet. There was never a chance. There's never a chance. And the Jake Paul fans, and I was getting this a ton from in DMs and comments going, well, everyone has a puncher's chance. That's an uneducated opinion. A puncher's chance, yes. If they're in a bar and Anthony Joshua's there at the pub and Jake Paul were to sneak up behind him and hit him in the back of the head or, in the side or something, maybe, even then, he's a little light in the ass, but maybe that's a puncher's chance. In a professional bout where a professional fighter at the level of Anthony Joshua is at, and he is going into a ring knowing and expecting to get hit, there is no puncher's chance when there's that much discrepancy in talent level. There's not, especially when the size difference. And some of you will say, Jake Paul hits hard. To you, yes, to you. But also, Jake Paul hits hard for a 200-pound man. He wouldn't even measure in the top 1,000 professional heavyweight boxers in the world as far as the strength knockout meter, if there is such a thing. It's not possible. So a lot of you were tuning in for saying, well, he has a puncher's chance. That's not real. That doesn't exist here. And now they could do this, but I don't think it's going to get the same amount of views but it would set expectations. If when this fight was announced, Jake Paul's team said, hey, we're fighting Anthony Joshua. Who thinks we can last 8 rounds? Who thinks we can go all 8 rounds? Who thinks Jake Paul can go 8 rounds and not get knocked out?
Suga Sean points out that Jake Paul was brave to promote and step into the ring against an Olympic champion like Anthony Joshua. He says fighting someone this skilled means facing huge fear and personal challenges. Even with the risks, Paul really believed he could win, convincing himself while knowing it was dangerous. Sean mentions Paul's smart plan of using the big 22-foot ring to stay quick, frustrate Joshua, and land some punches. Although Paul hit a few clean shots, Joshua's size and skill let him take them. Sean emphasizes that surviving and using this plan took real courage and careful thinking, not just luck.
Got in the ring.
Jake was shooting double legs too.
Shooting double legs, nice
duck
ones
unders.
with ankle picks, duck unders. But dude, God, people I see so much people talking shit on the fight, which, dude, what the fuck did they expect? Like, Jake was hyping himself up, saying he's gonna win. Dude, that's self-belief. He needed that to go in. He needed that to get himself into the ring. You know what I'm saying? He just needed that.
What do you think about the sticking that's hung out?
Dude, he's a showman. This is a fucking YouTuber that switched to pro boxing.
Yep.
And he's fighting Anthony fucking Joshua.
He's
he made $90 million, $7.5 million per minute. Nate Diaz says that boy don't work hard enough. This girl in the UFC said Jake Paul shot more double legs in boxing in a match than I did in my UFC career. Ryan Garcia said he's a runner, he's a track star. Aljamain said this is a clown show. Josh Hammond said, dude, it's like, what did they expect? They expect him to go in there and look like a clean fucking Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao. Two of the, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
You see the aftermath, like his jaw and everything. Fuck.
Jake Paul's broken jaw. Jake has to get wired shut for 7 days or something like that.
Yeah, like titanium
Tim had to
plates.
do 7 weeks.
Yeah, Tim says that was the worst thing he's ever gone through.
7 weeks. Tim broke his jaw in Montana. Tried to go to the hospital. Hospital said the surgeon's out of town. So now he has to. So he's fucking goes like a week without even getting surgery. At least Jake was able to probably get it like next day, that same day. But it's like all the people hating on Jake. It's crazy. Connor said Jake is stupid and will be altered permanently from this bout. I look at it. It's inspiring seeing what he does because I know how much like he's putting in work. He's doing legitimate fight camps. He's doing sparring. He's doing rounds. He's eating. He's doing everything, and he's promoting the fight.
Sergio Mora shares his frustration about what he saw in the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He says Jake Paul spent most of the fight just moving forward and backward, rarely side to side, which made it hard for Joshua to land clean punches. Mora points out that when Joshua had Paul in a corner, he didn't attack the body or fully use his size. Analysts noticed that Paul often leaned into Joshua during clinches, making Joshua seem passive. Mora says Joshua shouldn't be judged too harshly. A smaller fighter who refuses to fight can make even top heavyweights look weak. He compares it to Canelo Alvarez versus Williams, showing that running for survival against a small, unskilled opponent is very different from fighting a trained boxer. Mora finishes by saying Paul relied on one overhand right, landing it once, but it did little, showing his inexperience and focus on hype over real skill.
Jake Paul. Like, to your point, Jake Paul wasn't so much moving laterally all the time. He was literally running. Look at some of those rounds. He was running. He was going north to south, not side to side. He was running. Anthony Joshua should have been able to cut the ring off. And the times that AJ had Jake Paul cornered, he couldn't get shots off. He wasn't going to the body. He wasn't using his superior size on Jake. Like, I heard Nikisa Badarian say afterwards that AJ was leaning on Jake. Come on. Like, Jake was leaning into AJ, falling into AJ, and that's why those clinches were taking place. AJ is purportedly one of the best heavyweights in boxing. AJ believes he's on the level that he should challenge Tyson Fury. That wasn't the kind of performance that makes me believe Anthony Joshua is still a high-level heavyweight.
Well, you're wrong again. Anthony Joshua didn't look great because he wasn't allowed to look great. When you're in there with a smaller fighter that refuses to engage, refuses to box, to fight, he's running. Think of Canelo Williams' school. Canelo didn't look good, and he got accused of not being able to.
Okay, can I just 1 second? 1 second. I knew you were going to go there.
Oh,
Williams' school
is, or was, an undefeated 168-pounder with a deep amateur background. Jake Paul is a guy who lost to Tommy Fury with no amateur background. So don't compare the two. Don't compare William School to Jake Paul. It's not the same thing.
No, but I can compare a man running for his life and another man running for his life.
That's all for today's video. Keep watching and see you next time.